encourage you guys, if you have any larger life cases, you want to talk through anything, you have some, maybe a client with some investments and you want to bring him in on, and also a financial advisor, like that's, his role is to be there for all of you. So, and he's fantastic, he's free. Like you have to split a case, like if you know, a financial advisor finds some life insurance and they say, hey, let's split this. Okay. But if you bring in Roger, you have a ton of experience there and he's absolutely free.
And his one-liners are great.
Yeah, and we want to continue to use and utilize him as much as possible because I'm telling you guys, when a company is looking in expense management, believe me, I've been on those calls where HR's on the other you know, you get an invite within an hour, you have to be on a call. And HR's on the other side of that, you're like, what is happening? You know,
Yeah.
and they say, hey, you've been displaced. It's not fun. And so I know that, you know, when they're looking at expense management, they're looking at, okay, what role, maybe what role is out there that we actually have other people. Digital specialists for years. And so we just want to make sure that we're using him and so he has some job security. So not that, you know, we got to have all the other districts doing it too. You know, it's not just us. So, but let's take full advantage of them. All right. What else from any highlights from the meeting you guys taking and implementing? You know, we had OJ, lots of stuff on there. I hope that we're able to button down some of the challenges on exam one or apps. Know that the apps isn't an option. I'm going to send out to you guys some other areas that we can utilize as far as Quest Diagnostics that partner with exam one. You know, if you're having challenges with some examiners, I know probably Devin and Nancy, do you have challenges in your area with that at all?
No, I haven't.
I think it might be. I think it might be just the more, because, you know, I think it's in Bend, in Redmond, in Frankville, like that area, Central Oregon has more challenges with it.
Yeah, we have a good place in Medford that's convenient. It's more if we have clients that are further out, you know, than that, so.
Just knowing, you know, knowing what alternatives you guys have, that you're not just stuck with one company, and just making sure that you have that available for your clients as part of your process, right? And I think he did a good job of laying out, hey, here's what should happen. And he sent me the slides, so I'll send them all out to you guys. Here's how the timeline should be, because I'm not sure that the agents are thinking that's the timeline. Because I've been hearing other things on, he said within what, 2 to 4 hours, they should get maybe even sooner than that, the medical exam on their email. And I've had agents say they haven't received it for 2 days.
Right.
You know,
I was surprised at that, because I have them do it right there in the office, especially if we're having a couple while the other one's sitting there. I can tell them to be working on the interview, but I've never heard that they got it same day.
Yeah. So that's feedback that we need. And I would say, hey, because we have speakers in on our big district meetings, those are all people that you're like, hey, you were in my meeting on, you know, in October, and you said this, and here's the experience I'm having. So help me through this. You know, so those are always names to write down that you can directly communicate with. All right. I would never say, no, you have to go through me to get to OJ. Heck no. Go to OJ. Like he was in our meeting. So, and he made a lot of statements and we were like, wait, really? That's the way it should be? That's not what we're experiencing out here. So we need to find a solution to where there's a performance gap in the process, right? So my team's chat was already being blown up by Chris Shocker this morning saying, you know, here's what is happening where OJ said this should be happening. And I go, hey, that's it. Give it to like that. It should be, you have the direct information on what's happening. Give it right to him. Going through me, I'm like, like I'm gonna mess it up. You know, I'm not gonna know all the details. I'm not gonna, so go directly to him. And he can't fix what he doesn't know about. I don't mind supporting that, but I don't just want to hear complaining. You know, like it's, well, find a solution. Let's help. What do you need me to do? Anyway. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. What else? What else like last week? Share some good news. What was something positive that happened in your agency? Jimmy?
It was a lot of good gatherings. I did poke Devin a few times, make sure he was real. He wasn't the AI version, so he was still there. And got to sit by Nancy and to meet you guys in person was great, as opposed to just through the screen and just getting to know some of the other agents out there. I stayed a little bit longer and spoke with Cora and Tara, yeah, which was pretty cool. Just and then JR a little bit more, and everybody was leaving, so I was like, okay, now's the time to talk to more people and just yeah, it was nice to get to know them outside of these quick little meetings that we have through the organization. And good job on putting everything together too, Christine. Like that was good and just so much information. The life was just over my head because I haven't done enough of that yet, but um I like.
But to me, it should spur on the fact that you do, like, we're a multi-line company, right? So when you're looking at, hey, I'm giving you information in the different areas of our multi-lines, because you guys need exposure to all of that. We get so caught up into what's just coming at us, and that could be personal lines, right? Home and auto. But when you're really thinking about where our company is going and I always say, follow the money trail, guys, follow the money trail. The money trail is being invested into commercial, farm, and life, and financials, right? Which means we might just be, as a company, a little bit overexposed in the personal lines, right? Now, when you look at how your grid works, no wonder, right? Because the grid is based on personal lines. So we cannot do anything about that in 2026, but we will change that in 2027, guaranteed. All right, just so you guys know, there is the company that we paid to maintain to where we get all of our data from on that grid. Like the consulting company that said, hey, they won the bid, the contract to help us with that year to year. What happened in 2025 was that the company was sold to another company, and the other company, there's no skin in the game, right? I mean, they do, but they don't. And they said, well, based on this package, here's how much we would charge for that. And if you want all these different changes, because they wanted to change the grid, it will cost you X amount of dollars, billions. And Country said, heck no, we'll go out and we'll do it with another company. So we can't make any changes this year, going into 2026, but 2027, it will be different. But I want you guys, not just personal lines. Again, Devin, you're heading in the right direction, right? On the commercial side, the focus that you have in that space, like with our new program coming, all of that. So continue just to beat that drum, continue to look multi-line and get exposure, life. I cannot tell you, how if you need a surge of income revenue, life is where it's at. Nancy, how good did that feel when you paid how many life apps in a month? And then your
Yeah, like
paycheck?
4 on my paycheck, and I was like, oh, wow, that's nice. If I could do that every month, that's amazing, feels good to, gives you a little boost, a little raise. But now I'm just struggling to get. I rejected, so. I've got one today, hopefully I can get that conversion thing figured out, that was kind of confusing. But I got some advice on that, so hopefully, I'm gonna call, when we're done, I'm gonna call the life case manager, I always get confused who to call on that.
When he says
No.
case management, your case manager is like team one, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there should, on the life end, they're your lifeline. Like if you need details about that. And they respond the quickest way by email. Seriously, by email. You may not, they have hey, if you call us, we don't answer, leave a voicemail, we'll get back to you, but don't double dip. All right, so if you email and you're not hearing back, continue that stream. Don't call as well, because then they're gonna spend their time answering your email, not knowing you already called. Like that's, so pick a lane and stay in that lane. And if you leave a voicemail, then don't additionally email, because then it's taking their time away, right? And I will support that, because I agree.
Yeah, they probably get a lot, I'm sure.
You get a lot of people like hey, I'm gonna Teams message you, and I'm going to email you, and I'm gonna call, and it's just like, oh my gosh, they spend more time doing work they've already completed, so, yeah.
Okay, well, I will send the email then.
Yeah, and they're fantastic. Like I absolutely love. I've had to get involved in a few. Hey, can we fix this type of conversations? Where they reached out to me and said, hey, this is something we need your involvement in with an agent. So, and they want to make sure that you get the help that you need. They want to give you the answers, and it may not always be the answers that you want based on some challenges, but they're the ones in the weeds. Like they're digging in, trying to make sure, and obviously they're talented enough to then take on all the policy service changes too on the life end. So they're your conduit for that as well. So if you put in a change, like somebody wants to change a beneficiary or something, and you still don't see it processed, like team one, so you contact, say, hey, can you look at this? Like team one is your conduit. Good morning, Jeremy.
Hey, sorry I'm late. Crazy story, but no. No need to get into it. Just sorry I'm late.
All right, no worries. It's like 9:15. You're good. All right. What else? What other wins, guys? What other wins for the week?
I had a good lead that started with just an auto policy, and then it ended up being into her home, and then other rentals, and and it came from a referral from this same book of business, and I was just trying to do the car appointments and setting up that, and she called me, and then had IT issues because the phone wasn't ringing on my end, so called them and figured that out. 2 hours later, it got it working, but it's in progress. I'm gonna follow up with her this morning after we get out of here and see when she wants to start.
Awesome. Very cool. I love to hear those. I know that you just mentioned, Jimmy, like with some homes, like she has a huge package deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so I found out, well, the rentals are all in California, but we can do an umbrella coverage, and she's looking I told her, you need to bring those rentals up here in Oregon. It's funny because we went to, well, she's a lot older lady in her 70s, and she went to the rival high schools, and I was like, are we going to throw down right here, Mom? And she just looked at me and started laughing. He's all, yeah, but I got wisdom on you. I was like, hey, bring it. But it was pretty fun. It was easier. I think me trying to find ways to talk to people in the insurance terminology as opposed to me just being me is easier to talk and I don't know all the answers. And I told her I'm gonna find out. And thank goodness I have Claire that's like catty corner from my office to save me with a lifeline on some questions that come up. But yeah, it's a new learning curve. Last week was the first one that I saw like a glimpse of light a lot more. And it was like it's still at the end of the tunnel, but it's like, okay, it's getting better than what it was because these few months have been challenging on more than one occasion.
Right, because you've been, and as all, any of you who have book of business, right? You get. You, but they're clients of country already, and they have different needs, and hey, I need you to do this, and so you're reactive, time, reacting. And as an agency owner, you have got to balance your time. You have to. You can't just play defense the whole time. And I call servicing a book of business defense retaining, right? But you cannot do that all the time. And you know, you've heard me say this before, right? As a business owner, your effort, like when you're putting your business plan together, none of it says, hey, I want to spend all day Monday servicing my book of business. Like, no, it doesn't. Stick to your plan. Plan is like the world is my oyster. Like, what will next year look like? And this is what I want it in a perfect world. This is what I want it to look like, month to month, quarter to quarter, year to year. This is how much growth I want, and you know, so on and so forth. So, and then you reverse engineer back into, okay, what do I have to do every day to make sure I achieve those commitments and those goals that I've made to myself? You don't let anything stop you. A client calling in and wanting you to service their book of business, like, you've got to figure that out. That's all part of owning an agency. It's all part of it. So I'm not talking directly to you, Jimmy. I'm talking to everybody.
It's all me.
Like, you know, it's the same thing. You know, it's the same thing for me too. Like, I can't sit and play defense all day with just the agents I have. I have to go play offense. I have to hire new people, you know, to support the objectives that they give us. You know, because definitely, like, we've got dead weight.
Uh-oh.
Production wise, I'm like, well, like, I literally want to look at people and go, what do you do all day? What do you do? I mean, one quote in a month, one quote in a month. Like, seriously? Yeah. Oh, Nancy, believe me, I do.
I would love to hear the answer to that.
No problem. Oh, it's excuse after excuse. My child, my dog. I mean, I'm just like,
The service word, yeah, they're servicing.
so I have to, play offense. I have to go out and bring in new agents that will take their place. Not literally, but I need production. And that's what my job is to drive. My job is to help country meet their objectives. You grow your businesses like it's a trickle down, right? So enough of me. Sorry, I went on a tangent. What other? Anyone else have any good news for the week?
I inspected a farm last week. I can get this one. I'll be farm certified, baby.
Nice, nice.
Congratulations.
Exactly what that means, but I'm
No,
on it.
it's awesome. So I'm gonna send out an email, all right, to all of you today. And there's a agency news article that talks about farm certification. There's FAQs, there's a ton of stuff. I want every single person on our team to be farm certified. Like, it is, yes, and some of it comes with producing farms, right? But the part that you can control, the farm certification, the training, making sure that you're ready to go, like, all of that just helps you in those conversations, because you never know. You never know when you're going out and renting a home. It's just like, qualify for a farm. They have a cow. you know, or they have a couple horses. So I want you to be prepared with that. Again, looking at where the company's pouring their money into, okay? And I wanna, you know, just from my competitive standpoint, I wanna say number one in the district on farm. Like I know, it bothers the heck out of me, right? When I look at percentage wise, cause this is what country, calculates, is percentage of invested. And when I have somebody in nor, you know, in the valley, let's just say, that writes 2 farms in the month and their percentage because they never write any, you know, or don't have, and our team writes, you know, 30 and they meet. I'm like, oh no, let's go head to head. Let's go head to head. Anyway, I want the most farm certified percentage wise, on our team. Because that means we are supporting the direction that the company is going with this. And there's a ton of great stuff in it for you. Like what's in it for you? Where do you think, as far as farms go, who do you think has all the money? It's a single homeowner? Some do. But if you think a farmer, like there's history there. There's family loyalty. They need guidance, you know.
So I think farms have like some of the highest retention rates of any other
Heck,
clients.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I was talking with Cora after everybody left. It was a smaller, but she's all farms. She's so focused on farms, and her assistant, like she's gun ho, and she's all gets their home, their autos, all the other personal lines from there. And like you just said it, Jeremy, they stay with them for a long, long time. They don't like switching and all that. So
And I understand what is the huge barrier to entry on farm right now? Like Jimmy, what's a barrier to entry on farm for you?
I gotta put on my shit kickers and go out to the farmland, I guess. I mean, pardon my friends. Like, oh, oh, I had Monica help me, and I don't. So I remember you mentioned to me not to learn farm because it's going to be
No,
changing.
Jimmy, like for you, I do not want you learning farm
Okay.
system because you have Monica. So he hires Monica, which is Chris Shocker's assistant, to process, help him write farm under his name. And I would agree 100%, pay the woman for her time, you know? You do not need to learn that. You do not need your mind with something that's gonna go away, right? Because we're transitioning now, it could be 2 years, but still, there's other systems I would want you to fill your mind with.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We'd have to check you into the Looney board after working on that, Jimmy.
Oh,
Like,
man.
my frustration level is,
Oh.
I have a stroke after doing that system. I did it. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, all the codes and different things on there, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, it was, I just had to do farms and farms only, piece of cake, but there's so much parts and
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, barrier to entry is our system for sure. But, so I'm encouraging you guys as we're rolling into like the business planning season and really getting into, okay, I want to finish, I don't want you to take your foot off the gas for 2025, but I really want you to focus on okay, like vision for your business in 2026. And so we'll talk more about that. You can tell, like, I love planning. I absolutely love it. Because if you don't have a plan, you do not know where you're going. You don't. And so in our business planning sessions, I hope all of you have signed up for one of them. But, you know, some in person, virtual too. Like, I don't expect you to drive over for that, Devin and Nancy. I would love if you did, but you don't have to. We'll have the virtual links on there too. I don't want anyone to miss out on, you know, specific getting in. Some of the best parts of it is the idea share amongst each other. And really, especially over when we have some of our more tenured, successful agents in there. And, you know, there's just so much information to glean from their experiences and all of that. So that's, why do this alone? Like even myself, putting my business plan together for 2026 for our team, I'm not doing that by myself. Like I have other district leaders that we're getting together for a whole day and just, working on our plans together because we all have the same mindset, right? Of, hey, we want to be successful. Like we want to help our agents. We want to help them. We want to have the best team possible, growing in the right direction, like growth coming out of their ears. Like that's our vision. So I surround myself with people that are like-minded, as you should too. Sure. I have dominated the conversation. I apologize. But what are you looking forward to this week? Like, what are some things that you guys are working on? Any challenges? Do you guys need help with anything?
I mean, it's kind of a looking forward to and a challenge. I have a lot of support, so I'm not sure how much else I need. It's more just the taking the plunge of first employees coming on in 2 weeks from today. So I've only been my own boss for the first time for less than 6 months now, and it's hiring someone else is kind of nerve-wracking. So yeah, but it's exciting too, and I know it's gonna open a lot of doors for growth, but at the same time, just the challenges that come with it, and the new experiences, and I know I'm going to be a bit green at first. I've been a shift manager in places before, so it's not my first time being in charge of somebody, but still, it's yeah.
What do you think your biggest challenge will be, Jeremy, based on like your personality, based on like what's keeping you up at night about that?
Making sure I can actually delegate and not just control and micromanage.
That would be a challenge for sure.
Yeah. Especially because she doesn't have any insurance industry experience, and she hasn't really done an office job before. She's got phone experience. She's young. She's excited. I know she's gonna learn quick, but it's also like even in general when I trust somebody to do something, I'm always like, oh, let me help. Let me do and like. Making sure I can prioritize my time to still be as profitable as possible, while making sure I'm giving her all the keys to success that I can give her. Is the balancing act of that is, I think, what I'm most nervous about.
Some of the ways that I would coach anyone that is bringing on a new staff member in your situation, Jeremy, is I would write out a list and prioritize what are the main things that you look forward to her taking off your plate. All right. So really just listing those out and then just going one by one and saying, all right, so the first thing that I feel like you can handle and is on my list of taking off my plate is this. We're going to work on this week. And then you get to a point where you're like, all right, hey, I need, and you can gather her collaboration too on help me take that off your plate. And that's for good communication between employer and employee, and really knowing, hey, I'm having you do this because I need you to take over in this area. So we're not gonna eat an elephant just one bite at a time, So and that will help you again. You mentioned trust. That also will help you trust, that she knows the process, whatever it is that you're handing her. You can trust her with that, and then just start adding to her plate and taking off of yours. But really just having a list that you go over with her and just say, hey, here's where, this is where you're starting today. And here's where I want to get you, and then just start marking those off and not putting too much at one time, but just like one item at a time until you trust that she has it, and then start adding some more. So, and you'll know how fast you need to go through that.
Yeah. And I've been working on, and I know for like the assistants, I have to go through all the country trainings to get access to the full system and all that kind of stuff. That guides them through a lot of the process there. And my dad's office in Lapine has been so kind as to say the law of training as well. If she's willing to drive from Redmond down to Lapine, she can shadow, which I think she might do a bit. And like, I know having that's going to help The other thing with the Trump view, kind of like you said, is working on a list of responsibilities. That's like the expectation after 6 months is these will be what you're doing. But I remember how long it took me to figure everything out when I first started. So it's a slow process when you're going into the insurance world to get accustomed with all the jargon and the systems. So yeah.
Nancy, any advice you brought on, Lisa?
Yeah, I would say getting the little things out of the way, like I had some trouble with safe, like I didn't have the right password and I was setting up payroll and I was doing all that at the same time. And it definitely, I felt like then it was shifting my focus away from all these priorities. So I should have really made sure I did that in advance. It just kind of happened fast and I was at peak and literally started the day I got back, and that was my poor planning. I mean, I should have used that Friday to like do all those things, but then I was also trying to play catch up from being gone. So I think it's really just trying to like carve out some time because those things do take time, to do, make sure who you're using to do the payroll and how are you going to log your hours and all of those things. Like, I wish I would have had that kind of part, like known. I think I figured, well, I have time, right? Because that first week she's going to be doing training, but it just doesn't, there's not enough hours. And then we, of course, had, you have to plan that you might have some technology things that you're going to have to work through in addition to the training. I had questions that Christine helped me with because it was like, I wasn't quite sure how to get those to her, where she was supposed to go to get into them. So, I think the more you can do, like you're lucky you have these 2 weeks, each day, make your priority list like Christine said, and then each day do something towards it. So you're super prepared, for it. I just kind of jumped and was like, all right, let's just do this. And I knew her. So we have a relationship that I know she was understanding. Like I told her that, like we can start right now, but we're gonna have to do some of these things together. And she actually helped me. Like she called Sage, figured out how to get my, because I don't think I had quoted workers' comp, but so I didn't have all that on hand to do the quote, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nancy,
Help.
for your employee, is she already licensed or is she gonna be? Okay.
has
Gotcha.
her license, and has experience. She had just kind of retired per se and was babysitting her grandchildren, and her husband's nearing retirement too. So she was kind of took a step away from insurance for the last 2 years. And I'm just trying to ease her back in, twist her arm to see how much she'll work, for how long. Cause I'm just so worried that it just can be stressful. So I don't want her to, feel overwhelmed at all or like, oh, I made the wrong choice. So I'm just trying to be really mindful that it is hard when you've stepped away from it to come back. It's, a lot. And my stress probably spills over onto the office of like my chaos of all the things that I have on my mind that I want to do. And she's like very eager to help, but she's definitely way more calm and like good for me to have somebody who's like, hey, one thing at a time. Like I'm like the tornado coming through, like, oh my gosh, and this and this and this. And I get so excited of like all the things, and I just need somebody to help me, Okay, we'll do this first. Let's make that list. So it's definitely been interesting for me. I used to be in management, so I managed people, but it was very different than this, very different than insurance. So
No, what I used to say is like, we can go there, let's go. Like we can punch it out or kick it out or whatever, but I can't do that now. So no, I don't want a workman's comp complaint, all that. But it's fun. And Jeremy, if you ever need anything, dude, like outside of insurance, like you got that locked down, no problem. But like bringing cheesy jokes or any of that, let me know. No. But anything that I can do to help you and vice versa, Nancy, and same thing, Devin, too. Like you guys, I appreciate getting to know you guys even more and taking little tad bits because there's so much information overload and yeah, we don't want to be an island of one, so to speak. And Christina, for you leading the pack of all of us, like putting us where to go, who to contact is getting better instead of like, oh my gosh, I was so reactive for the first few months, like it was driving me nuts. But I think it's yeah, and that plan that Courtney did too. I was like, oh crap, I did it, but I didn't finish it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish 2026.
Clarify just in case you guys are confused, and that would be my fault that you're confused, not yours. When we get into our business planning sessions that I have in November for our team, I'm not referring. That's really just putting your information into the system. And so this is where we take it, we're elevated. Southern Oregon is an elevated organization. All right. And that's how I treat you guys. And that's where I expect you to be, right? Because we have fantastic business agency owners on our team. All right. So I would say that growth plan, and as much as I support the company efforts, and as much as I admire those that put that together, that's for the lowest rung on the ladder. All right. That's for those agents who, okay, I just need to put this and I need to have some sort of guide, that are not investing in putting a professional business plan together for their agency. Like they have no vision, right? They're just going to plug in those numbers. And so if those details that you see on that growth plan, those help you, then by all means, I support it 100%. But what we're going to do in next month in our business planning sessions is on steroids, right? So it's creating more vision. It's creating a pathway. We're getting all the way down to every activity that you need to do. And they've put together something to the best of their ability based on the system that they have to work with. But do not just do that. All right. Like we're taking it up a notch. All right. Because that's who we are in our district. So not like I'm trying not to make it sound like that is meaningless, but if it gets you going in that direction of where you want to take your formal business plan when we meet, then by all means get those, because that's really just data, right? It's just data and some ideas, so it helps you gather all that. So there's value in it. But if that's all you do is just the growth plan, then you're not, like, we got to take you up a level. That makes sense. That's just a smidgen, Jimmy, of what we're going to do in November.
Yeah. I'll have that pre-filled out or ready to go, and then we'll add some nitrous to it. And
It used to be like they would say, oh, you're not getting any marketing dollars until you have that done. And really, I'm like, all right, some people just went in there and put numbers in, and then, all right, did it. They never looked at it again. And they didn't have any other plan either. So.
well, it's
So
like,
yeah, so I had Courtney on, just said, hey, if you guys need to know how to go in there and fill out that growth plan, and that's what you're using as a guide to support your other business plan, then absolutely. And Courtney knows that. Courtney's like, no, Christine, you're like up here and we're down here. Like, I go, Courtney, you're if you guys would elevate it, people would rise to the occasion.
just take
Courtney and I have a great relationship.
over that district too. You don't have enough on your plate, Christine.
That's kind of that. The last place I want to be is in Bloomington. Heck no. Heck no. All right. What else, you guys? Anything else that you some help with? You need some inspiration? Anything for your week? You good? Well, I'm here if you need me. And calendar. Let's real quick. All right, so where are we at today? The 27th? No, is it the 27th? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
It's over.
I know.
Let's say.
Okay, October 27th, problems give meaning to life. This should be interesting. A wise philosopher once commented that an eagle's only obstacle to overcome for flying with greater speed and ease is the air. Yet if the air were withdrawn and the proud bird were to fly in a vacuum, it would fall instantly to the ground, unable to fly at all. The very element that offers resistance to flying is at the same time the condition for flight. The main obstacle that a powerboat has to overcome is the water against the propeller. Yet if it were not for this same resistance, the boat would not move at all. The same law that obstacles are conditions of success holds true in human life. A life free of all obstacles and difficulties would reduce all possibilities and powers to zero. Eliminate problems and life loses its creative tension. The problem of mass ignorance gives meaning to education. The problem of ill health gives meaning to medicine. The problem of social disorder gives meaning to government. We all have a tendency all our lives to want to get rid of the problems and responsibilities. Yet when that temptation arises, remember the youth who was questioning a lonely old man. What is life's heaviest burden? He asked. The old fellow answered sadly, having nothing to carry. From developing the leader within you, allow your problems to motivate you towards greater creativity and strength. That's a good one. I thought of you, Jimmy, as I was reading that, just as in your previous life, role, it was always like, what good is a punch if it doesn't land on something? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like you gotta have, it's those things that make you stronger. Resistance is what builds muscle. So anyway, and I say that with, just what he did in regards to your business. It's those challenges that allow you to grow and make you better and find solutions and then you're like, hey, I've gone through that before. Now I know how to get through it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave you guys with that. Have a great week, and I'm here if you need me.
Christine, can you stay on for a second afterwards? Okay.
Yeah, bye guys.
Thank you. All right. Hey, thank you very much. I have a question for you in regards to clients getting reassigned to me. Do I just call them up and base upon try to set up a car appointment just to make sure I'm up in there? Is that the first good things to do?
100%.
Okay.
Yes. So anytime you get a random reassignment, right, from wherever, I mean, I every Monday, Jimmy, I get an email that is whatever it takes. Like, okay, this person's we're going to send out this letter, whatever that email is. I had 12 of them. And I don't even know how many, the fact, just so you know, history is all of those reassignments would go through me before,
Okay.
where I could say, hey, Jimmy, one of your clients is wanting to be reassigned to someone else, and it would give you the chance to try and save that business, right? Because
Gotcha.
maybe it was a misunderstanding or whatever, and they're like, all right, Jimmy, I'll stay with you. And so then I would just delete that email request to be switched to someone else, right?
Gotcha.
Now I have no control.
Okay.
So our clients are going like this to this person and that person,
Yeah.
maybe you're getting some that are not even in our district, but live here, all of those things happen
Gotcha.
all the time, because all they do is call customer service, and customer service does exactly what they say.
Call your agent.
So you obviously are getting a client, all right?
Right.
So yes, the first thing you would do is find out, hey, I'd like to welcome you to Jimmy Smith, insurance agency with Country. Love that you chose me to be your agent. How may I help you?
Gotcha.
And it's really not try not to get in the conversation of how they're unhappy with the other agent, if that was the case.
Yeah.
And do your best through that, but really keep it focused on, all right, how can I support you?
Right.
What is it? What do we need? What is your need right now that you would switch agents because you have a need?
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, and that's what I've been trying to do is what can I do right today, right now, right here? Not what was done in the past, what looking in the future, because I'm causing stress over here and then anxiety over here when I need to just focus right here as opposed to getting too far in every direction, but the now direction. And that's what I tell them too. I was like, hey, I don't know what was there, but we're here today. Let's move forward and see what we can go through. And I'm actually getting more excited to do the cars. Before I was scared,
Sure.
scared, crapless because
Before
I
you
don't
do
know it. But it was like, oh yeah, I'm getting there and I'm just talking to people and just having and conversation, just like how Roger was. Like I was like, man, yeah, I'm looking forward to picking his brain on some of that stuff. And on my life box, I'm gonna have on the back my cheat sheet of what I'm gonna be going through of those one-liner questions that he had on there that he was writing down. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be really good. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna be.
I mean, that is, you're trying to retain that, they picked you for whatever reason, and you don't know that till you talk to them,
Right.
you know? Uh, so you meant, something that I did want to follow up with you on. So you mentioned in our call that if you have a question about service or something that you don't know, you're going over to Claire. So I just want to make sure that you and Austin are communicating with making sure that it's okay to use her, right? And I'm assuming all of that's correct, Jimmy.
Yes.
But just what I've seen in the past is in this scenario where there's an agent who's like, all right, you can use her, but making sure the line of communication, Jimmy, is very open between you and Austin.
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out there because you mentioned her name. So I'm like, all right, I just want to remind, just make sure, hey, are we still on the same page?
Right.
And that's between you and Austin.
Yes, and I will bring that up to him. So far, it's been good, but I completely agree. And I told Claire if there's ever anybody like I was going to Cheryl, but Cheryl doesn't know much of. She knows a lot, but not as much as fast as Claire does. You know
No,
what I
and
mean?
Cheryl's not in our district anymore.
Okay.
She's Sean Connor. So we shouldn't be committing. I'm not saying don't talk to her,
Right.
but I'm saying when it comes to like that's I don't have an agreement with Sean for you to access Cheryl at all.
Okay. Gotcha.
So and that would be up to her to say, hey Jimmy, I would love to help you, but I can't.
Yeah.
Like that's so.
Well, and today I get my assistants coming in. We're going to go through, make sure the computer is set up and make sure that there's anything that we need. That way, what's on here, and I think she was the one that taught Claire some of this stuff. So I'm really looking forward. I think this is a blessing in disguise that I need so much. And because now I'm like, I did that this weekend after talking or thinking, I was like, I couldn't stop thinking. So I highlighted my colors to 6, and I was like, nope, I need to highlight them into 3 colors, make it simple process. Because I was like, production, servicing, marketing, sales. And I was like, nope. So I need the production and service is my red zone. Marketing sales is going to be my green, just like the street lights. Yellow is people in progress that I'm waiting to get their information back. So I'm trying to streamline it and simplify it so I can remember, because that's the same thing that I cross when I teach in self-defense. It's red, yellow, green. Red's danger, yellow safe or is caution, green is completely safe. But now just bringing that into a simplified 3 areas, and then the buckets that I've been reaching out with Steve to make sure that I'm doing this right, and just not having so many buckets, but no, making it less is best, and being able to tag them on there. So I'm getting
Sweet.
feeling better, and the progress is going. I think it's just because now I'm actually being not as reactive as what I was before. So
Yeah.
um
You'll feel that's the thing, Jimmy, too. It's heeding that it's a caution, right? It's a caution not to stay in the reactive mode, not to stay in the servicing mode, because you will be miserable.
I
You will be
was
miserable because it's all that angst of, oh my gosh, spending all my time doing all this service, and even though you feel like, all right, I gotta retain these clients, like I gotta do this, you know, but at what expense?
Yeah, I mean, and there was one guy, I mean, it was like, oh, it only raised it $14. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you came in for that? Like, no offense, like, I'm glad we got to meet, but like, $14, like, oh, I'm gonna cancel my policy. I was like, oh man, like, this was
Probably
like,
need to.
yeah, and that's what I told him.
That's a concern of yours, because whatever insurance company you go to, this is just the insurance industry right now.
Right.
You're having ups and downs, but I don't, not that you don't want to meet with him, but if that's what he's meeting you for, he's taking an hour of your time for that.
Yeah. And that's where I was like, okay, I'm streamlining, trying to talk to more, but also like, no, I want to know ahead of time. I looked over, excuse me, looking over their policy, because then that way I want to be prepared, not just like, oh, okay, let me see what we got while you come in. So no, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And yeah, I really appreciate this roadmap now. Is like, oh, and I'm so excited about commercial because I got my game plan of like, oh, I'm hitting the physical therapy, the chiropractors, and the what was the other one? The dentist office staff with and when I can go in there, because if I can get in a pool of 9 or less people, I know I'm gonna get their be able to quote their autos and quote their other stuff within or their home, and staying focused more on the home policies than the auto policies. And one last question too is one of the things that I notice I don't want to bring on another person or invest anything until after the holiday season, because I think people are in Black Friday special spending mode more than insurance mode. Would you agree?
I don't. I think that the fact that they have the day off is a great time to try and make it up.
Okay.
They're not working.
Okay.
So this is, I'm telling you, Jimmy, November and December, when I was an agent, were two of my biggest months.
Okay.
Because I said, no, you are not gonna tell me that I can't write business in the last 2 days or the last 2 months of the year. I will
Okay.
prove you wrong.
Gotcha.
And that was just a challenge for me. Now, I'm an anomaly when it comes to that, Jimmy, because there's a lot of other people that are like, I want to spend time with my family, other agents, but if you are, and then only you can make this call for your, I hope you're not hearing me as far as I'm making you feel guilty, right?
No.
If you decide to spend time with your family on Friday, and not, but there are a lot of your clients that will have a day off. So
Right.
trying to get people in that last week, continue to stay focused on your business. There are some people that take a whole week off and they're like, hey, I'm available,
Yeah.
it would be a great time to meet with my insurance agent because I have the time off. So just, I would say, stay true, no matter what time of the year it is, stay true to your business processes.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, and I'm not going anywhere until February. That's when I'm going to be gone. But I'm like, no, if we're here and this is where I want to try to put boots to the ground and just like stay on track. And by then, I know within this next month, I know I'm going to be, I'm putting a lot of pressure on Alicia, but I know with her skill set and my skill set, I am going to be able to just jump up and just get out of my nerve wracking, get on the phones and get into these businesses or walking into them more than just calling them and making an introduction. That's what I did with Focus Physical Therapy. I was like, oh, my son, I took him to his doctor. I was like, you guys have a nice facility. How many staff do you guys have? 13. Oh, have you guys done in self-defense? Kudos for, here's this, all this day and age. And I was like, here's my business card. Won't cost you anything besides learning skill. And then I got through the receptionist to get to the owner. Who's his email? What do I need? So I'm like, okay, so I'm breaking the ice. So now I got through that gatekeeper by doing
Sweet.
something in there. And it's just, that's where I want to focus in on a lot more, because those have facilities and they have staff members and they are helping people in that line of work that I've been in. So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Great.
that's where I'm excited. Thank you very much for the extra time.
Appreciate you.
You too. And good job on the meetings too. And all of everything you're doing. I appreciate you more than you can imagine.
I appreciate that.
All right. Take care.
Have a good week.
You
All right.
too. Bye bye.
Bye.